What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very special video. Today is Wednesday, and that's unique because that's the third video this week that is being, uploaded. Normally we only post on Mondays and Fridays, but Wednesday, today, is when me and a group of guys are on our way to Georgia for Third Coast Airsoft Operation Sirius Viking. And this is going to be one of the larger MilSim events held at a very unique facility, Guardian Center. I'm hoping to get some excellent footage and some gameplay, some pictures while at that event. Let you guys know that I'm going to be going over my stuff, kind of brief overview as to what I'm going to be utilizing in preparation for this MilSim event. But before we do that, we do have some official business to take care of.
Hey guys, do you like deals? Well, I want to give you a deal. Because YouTube absolutely refuses to make sure that I'm able to make a living, I'm offering you guys a special promo code to my website, airsoftheadquarters.com. If you go and you purchase at least $75 worth of products and you enter promo code YouTube, all lowercase, you can get the chance to get some free swag. I'm clearly too influenced by Donut Operator. When you use this promo code, you have a chance for us to randomly select a patch in order to throw into your order, which means you get free swag. Not only that, but one of the patches could be one of our limited edition store collaborations with the Airsoft Arena. Comes in one of 3 colors. Also, these are limited edition run, which means this is a 1 in 100. I'll throw that in my stuff. You can have that for yourself by using promo code YouTube at checkout. And my light just went out. Woo! Back to the video.
So in my personal experience, there is, and my personal opinion as well, there is a difference between a MilSim, like a bona fide MilSim, and a large event that's kind of advertised as a MilSim, right? An actual MilSim event is hardcore. You have to have the correct camo pattern. It has an actual structural breakdown between factions, so tan and green, and then in those factions are different platoons. In those platoons are different companies. In those companies are different squads, and in each individual squad is a specific setup of different rifle classes and gear setup. Versus a large event MilSim thing, it's kind of green versus kind of tan, and they just go at each other. There's some loose objectives that kind of need to be taken care of, and they kind of add points to the total score and whatnot, but there's no real structure to how these things play out. You kind of just go as the commanding officer or the CO, you kind of go, all right, you group of guys from respawn, you go over that direction, and then this different group of respawn guys, you go over in that direction and go towards that building and you do stuff. Versus the actual MilSim, all right, I need company Royal Rifles, get a squad together, you're going to be going into this section and your ultimate objective is to do this. You're going to have a secondary squad that's going to be providing overwatch and support for any type of flank maneuvers. Your third squad is going to be moving with us, and we're going to be capturing this other objective. Does that make sense? Right, an actual breakdown as to how things work. And there are guys that are supposed to be on top of it. They get it. Even the small, mundane jobs of just pulling security, there's got to be people within those actual MilSims that are going to be happy to provide security in a building and watch a flank. With the previous Third Coast Airsoft Iron Fury last year, we, as one of the squads within the Royal Rifles, we were providing recon, surveillance, and also dropping different bombs, simulated bombs, within different objectives in order to clear out the enemy team. We did a pretty good job at that. I have only a couple of videos, but the videos that I have are super duper slow because we would lay there for sometimes hour at a time and do nothing. And we could just lay in the bush and not see anyone. But that's the whole point of doing an actual MilSim, is actually having a goal, having an objective, and doing your absolute best to do that objective to the T, right? Versus the large event, if someone says, if you're a CEO or whoever says, go do recon, well then you pull a group of guys together and all of those guys want to go just shoot at bodies, right? That is an event in of itself, and that is fine. There's a reason why those events work and work so well and everyone has fun. But let's not confuse this large event milsim for a milsim, right? Breaking that down. So within this milsim event specifically, we're going to be primarily based on what my squad leader told me, because I am not a part of the planning phase whatsoever. In fact, that's one of the great things I love about milsim events, is that the structural breakdown as far as where the orders come from. Me as a just random person in the squad, I am not squad leader, I'm not assistant squad leader or a second squad leader. I am just a fucking barcode, and I'm a-okay with that, right? Not part of the planning phase, but I get told that we may be pulling security for a long period of time, and we may be in the tunnels going and providing security and clearing those out. So I go, okay, I'm gonna set my gear up to where I'm gonna be as effective in those environments as possible. So in providing security, I wanna have a regular rifleman class, something that's going to be faster shooting, something that's going to be able to provide cover indoors and outdoors, because our squad is going to have a lot of machine gunners that I will need to do my best to protect them, while also providing security if we do come in contact, right? So for that, I went with my SIG MCX. So this guy is a little bit more lightweight. Obviously it folds, so it's going to be nicer and compacter compared to longer length rifle systems. And the fact that we're going to be primarily indoors, I kind of went with a in-between rifle length so I could be effective-ish for outdoor ranges and also be able to move comfortably within indoor environments, especially down into tunnel systems, which if you guys haven't been in tunnels, it's not a hallway that you can kind of just move around freely, right? It's a tunnel. You're having to crouch down and shuffle along. Not a lot of moving space down there. So needed something that's going to be, for a rifle and gear setup, that's going to be very low profile, something that I can maneuver in very comfortably. So rifle setup, I have my zoom camera, hopefully trying to get some gameplay for you guys. I have a laser system, so that way when we are providing cover, I can say to my buddy, hey, keep an eye on this window right here. I also have my flashlight on that same square, so kind of like a PEC box, but a little bit different of a shape. I also have a green flashlight that's going to be mounted a little bit farther back. One of the things that when it comes to identifying within lower light environments that we are on the same faction, so green side is communicating with green side, is we have a green flashlight, something that's going to be a little bit lower dim. That way I can shine it on the floor of whatever tunnel system or even whatever hallway to identify that I am green side. And then they'll either shine a light back, or they will have a different type of phrase or code to identify to me that they are green side. This here is a battery box, so that is not a legitimate PEC, so don't get confused why I have one PEC system with another PEC system. I also recently painted my MCX, so that's why this guy is a bright tan and kind of is a weird conglomeration of a two-tone camo pattern. I'm not a huge fan of it because it looks too fresh. I think I need to scuff it up a little bit more before I get it right where I want it. So I think I'm either going to rub some rocks on it or continue to beat it with a magazine. I haven't decided yet. Running PTS EPM magazines and a little folding stock. And that's what I got. Freshly painted, gonna continue to scuff it up. And I didn't want it to look overly pretty. I kind of wanted to dust it and make it gross looking, because that is accurate to milsim paint jobs. And I have the entire thing on a 1-point sling. So it's a quick detach. That way, if I need to get even further tighter to my body or even pass this off to someone else, I can do so easy peasy lemon squeeze. And that's what I have for my rifle system. On my hip is going to be my trusty Glock 17 Gen 5. I'm going with the CO2 magazine specifically on this guy, just because it's going to be easier to carry those 12 gram CO2 canisters in my backpack or in my travel bag, swap those out as I need to. I'm going to have one in the gun and then a spare in a pouch. I'm not going to have a dedicated pistol magazine pouch somewhere. That's just another piece of equipment that could get snagged if I'm going through a doorway or through some type of overhead hatch or even through the brush. So I'm going to have this spare magazine in a pouch somewhere, primarily because this is not going to be my, I don't consider this as my secondary, because I'm going to be putting all of my trust into my rifle system. In an absolute worst case scenario, will I be pulling this, right? I'm not going to be doing rifle indoors and then transition to my pistol. If I do run out of ammunition on my rifle, I'm going to go back into cover, reload my rifle while in cover, and then pop out to re-engage that target. That's how I personally break that down. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm going to be taking a bunch of extra magazines. I already have 3 on my person. I'm going to have number 4 in the gun, but number 5 and 6 are going to be in this front pouch here. That way, if we do get into contact really heavily, I'll be able to pull those immediately instead of trying to find a friend to reload my magazines for me, which, by the way, this is a mid-cap only event. They do not restrict the number of mid-cap magazines. Also, another weird fact is that they allow anyone to carry reload tools, which I find is very generous for a larger milsim event. So very generous on their part. I'm gonna have some snacks on me. For this event, they require that they have that players have a physical red rag, and then for darker environments, like I said, some type of red light. That way that can get stuck on my person or onto my helmet, you know, in order to showcase that people are dead. So we got that. I've got a spare radio. I already have a radio over here, which is going to be my Baofeng radios, hooked up to a push-to-talk, which also has a earpiece in here. Because we are going to be down in slimline tunnel systems, and also because some of my squad members are going to have LMG gunners, they cannot shoot full auto indoors, which means I am probably going to be within a stack, number 1, number 2, or number 3, which means I can't have my push-to-talk boom on speaker mode. So this earpiece allows it to, you know, bypass the actual boom, so it goes directly into my ear so I can hear if anyone's talking to me. And then if I'm going to talk to someone, I then just kind of lean over and speak into this speaker here. So it keeps everything a little bit more quiet, especially if we are going to be down in those tunnels. I am going to be the king of smoke grenades. So I have EG Mil-X, 18Xs, WP-40s. On this gear, I have 4 smokes immediately on my back. That way I or teammates can pull from this. If say I'm on a corner and I'm just laying down cover and I say, provide smoke, they can grab one from my back because they're gonna be right behind me. I also have this pouch dedicated to grenades. Right now there are smokes inside of here. I'm going to be counting on my squad mates to provide explosive grenades, so I'm going to be the king of cover. And that's what I have right there. Lots of smokes, lots of smokes. These are going to be my revival bandages. So these are actually going to go not on my gear per se. So that the way I like to have these set up is they're kind of bunched up here. stick them in. Come on. Then I have that tab flipped over just a little bit. That comes down. That way anyone within my squad that is utilizing these knows that they can pull this from here and just slap it on there. These are the Third Coast Airsoft replica tourniquets. So they're all held on by Velcro. So it just opens up, slide that on, and then Velcro it shut. It's a very, very fast, easy process. And then my secondary tourniquet goes into the other pouch. And that's how I operate with that. This is going to be the LBX Armatis plate carrier. And I have it is the low profile mag utility fast clip panel. So I've got 3 magazines. I've got extra magazines in here. Oh, I actually threw my spare pistol mag inside of there. Excellent, already ahead of myself. Inside here is a very large event map. If you guys are unable to get maps, you really should. I think they'll have spares at the event. This is absolutely critical to relaying information and knowing where stuff is going to be, such as not only objectives, but where your respawn is going to be, and also where your CCP, your casualty collection point, is in order to respawn closer to where engagements are going to occur. So here's the helmet I'm going to be utilizing. It's the PTS Flux helmet. It has the correct camo pattern for the head wrap. So even if I'm peeking up over a little bit of a barrier, friendlies will be able to identify that I am green, hopefully. And the way that my head setup is going to look like, I'm going to have my eye protection, GoPro camera, my helmet, which is then going to clip into place, like so. And then my face protection, which is connected to the helmet, will attach via so. Especially if we're going to be inside of any type of close environment, like tunnels or corridors, especially tight, close corridors. That again doesn't allow a whole lot of movement for an operator like myself, so I need to have some type of facial covering. That way, ultimately, when I do get shot, it's not going to take teeth out. Especially with a linear environment like tunnels or corridors, BBs can ricochet and they still can carry enough energy to impact with a lot of force. So having face protection is super advantageous. Different people have different types of tooth protection, whether it be the lower profile ones, a balaclava, or even football or mouth guards. Although I have seen teeth on the very bottom get shot out. It doesn't occur nearly as often as the very front ones here, but I have seen bottom teeth get knocked out with BBs. But you are all adults that will be participating in these larger events, so your facial covering is all up to you, and you have to bear the consequences. Also, in those darker environments, I have this guy, which is my individual identifier. So this will allow friendlies behind me to identify that I am who I am and I am sitting at the corner or at the post where I said I would be. So they can identify me without having to turn a flashlight on, illuminating myself and projecting my shadow onto the wall in front of me, which would, tell the enemies exactly where I'm at. So this is designed to help with that, kind of minimize the amount of force on force or friendly on friendly engagements that typically occur in those lower light environments. And some final notes is that with TCA and other larger MILSIM event coordinators, they are going to be very strenuous and strict onto the rule set specifically. TCA implements something that I enjoy a lot, which is they have a little code phrase hidden inside the rule sheet, and they change the position which that code phrase is positioned. That way you have to read all the rule set line by line in order to identify what's out of context, which means yes, even if you are not in, or if you are not taking a vehicle to the Milsim event, you still should be reading up on those and be aware as to what they are or what they have as far as limitations. So the vehicle section is not where I found this one, but there is a code phrase, and if you are going to TCA, Serious Viking, and you have not found that code phrase, spend 15 minutes reading the rule sheet. I didn't time myself, but that is literally how long it takes to read the rule sheet line by line. So do it, find the code phrase. Don't get yelled at by an admin or a staff member because you cannot read the rules. That's how everyone has fun, and that's how everyone can have fun going forward. And that's all I have. I mean, I'm gonna be trying to take some cool pictures, do some cool videos, but like with Operation Iron Fury previously, I may not do all of the event with gameplay footage because it may get boring for you guys at least. It won't be boring for me. I legitimately do enjoy sitting down and just completing an objective by doing nothing. Like, I still find that fun. If I am actively participating in completing an objective or doing whatever, I have fun with it. In all honesty, of all the other Milsim events that I've been to, the ones where we just sit down and just do what we were told to do by our superior officers, is the most fun. That's what I enjoy, at least. That's what I have for you guys. And again, promo code YouTube in the website. And that's all I have for you guys. So if you do have any further questions, put them down into the comment section below. I can't promise I'll be able to get to them soon-ish, because like I said, I'm gonna be at the event. So I may be a little preoccupied. But you guys will see me next weekend, and I do have pre-scheduled videos already uploaded, so you guys can enjoy those in my absence. That's all I have for you guys. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you later. Take care.